The Battle of Dogger Bank was a naval engagement during World War I, fought on the 24th of January 1915 between British and German naval forces in the North Sea, near the Dogger Bank, an area of shallow waters roughly halfway between Britain and Denmark. At the start of World War I, the British Royal Navy held superiority over the German Kaiserliche Marine. Both sides, however, were reluctant to engage in large-scale battles, leading to several smaller skirmishes. One of the key concerns of the British was the German High Seas Fleet, based in the North Sea, and the German strategy of conducting raids along the British coast to lure British ships into traps set by their larger fleet. In December 1914, a German raid on Scarborough, Hartlepool, and Whitby had sparked outrage in Britain as civilian areas were shelled. The British Admiralty responded by increasing patrols and surveillance over the North Sea using intelligence derived from intercepted German communications. These intercepts gave the British insight into German plans and fleet movements, allowing them to anticipate and respond to the next German sortie. In January 1915, German Rear Admiral Franz von Hipper led a squadron of battlecruisers into the North Sea, aiming to repeat their earlier raids. The British, having decoded German signals, were able to prepare a squadron of battlecruisers under Vice Admiral Sir David Beatty to intercept them. The British fleet consisted of 5 battlecruisers, 7 light cruisers, and 35 destroyers, whereas the German force included 3 battlecruisers, 1 armoured cruiser, 4 light cruisers, and 18 destroyers. The British fleet intercepted the German squadron early on the morning of the 24th of January 1915. The battlecruisers were the central force on both sides, with the heavier ships taking the lead in the engagement. The Germans, upon realizing they were outgunned, attempted to retreat towards home waters, but the British pursued them. The battle began around 9 a.m., when the British ships opened fire. The two sides exchanged long-range gunfire, with the British having a slight advantage in both range and speed. The turning point came when the British battlecruiser Lion, Beatty's flagship, managed to hit the German armoured cruiser Blücher, causing significant damage. Hipper's force continued their retreat, but the Blücher, heavily damaged, lagged behind. Beatty, initially focused on catching the rest of the German squadron, later gave the order to engage Blücher more fully. British ships concentrated fire on the stricken vessel, eventually sinking it. However, during this pursuit, confusion over signals allowed the rest of Hipper's ships to escape. The British flagship Lion was hit multiple times during the battle and suffered damage that forced it to slow down. Beatty had to transfer his command to another vessel, which contributed to the miscommunication that ultimately let the Germans slip away. Although the Germans had lost the Blücher, a valuable armoured cruiser, and suffered significant damage to other ships, they managed to avoid further losses by retreating successfully. The British had no ships sunk, but suffered damage, most notably to Lion, which required months of repairs. The battle was seen as a tactical victory for the British due to their sinking of the Blücher and forcing the Germans to retreat. However, it was also viewed as a strategic missed opportunity since the rest of Hipper's force escaped, and the British Admiralty criticized the lack of coordination during the final stages of the battle. The Battle of Dogger Bank was significant for several reasons. It underscored the crucial role of intelligence and code-breaking in modern naval warfare, as the British were able to intercept and decode German communications, giving them the ability to anticipate and counter German movements. It also showcased the power of battlecruisers, fast, heavily armed ships that became central to naval engagements during this period. The British learned important tactical lessons, particularly regarding fleet coordination and signal communication, which would prove vital in future conflicts. Psychologically, the battle affected both sides. The Germans became more cautious in their North Sea operations, while the British were left frustrated by their failure to completely destroy the enemy fleet. Although the battle did not result in a decisive victory, it influenced subsequent naval engagements and highlighted the strategic stalemate that defined much of the naval warfare during World War I.